Hello, my name is Francisca, and I'm part of the economic team with the City of Rockford. And I am here to talk to you about the second round of the Commercial Corridor program that we will launch on October 27th. And that program will run until November 26th. So I will share my screen with you. So for this program, the Commercial Corridor Property Revitalization Program offers forgivable loans to businesses and property owners who make investments in commercial and industrial spaces in specific corridors in the city of Rockford. The funding source of this program is from the gaming tax revenue as well as the American Rescue Plan Act funds. Eligible corridors will include Harrison Avenue from Rock River to South Alpine, North Main Street corridor from Brown Avenue to Campus Hill Boulevard, Rockton Avenue corridor from Van Wee Avenue to West Riverside Boulevard, South Alpine corridor from Larson Avenue to Bypass 20, and South Main Street corridor from Kent Street to Marcassano Street. This is a map of some of the eligible corridors. This is actually a map of the previous round, so you can see the exclusion of two corridors, which includes the Charles Street as well as the 11th Street corridors, which actually filled in the previous round. For this program, it offers to cover 75% of the project costs up to $25,000 to assist the property owners and or tenants to make building improvements that will add value and extend the longevity of those properties. And each of the identified corridors has funds that are available on a first come, first served basis throughout the duration of the program. And it's for approved projects. A program, the program offers $25,000 in gap funding, and you will, as the applicant, you will need to provide at least a 25% match of that amount. The total project can be higher than $33,333, but the city's portion will be a maximum of $25,000. So I mentioned the first round of the program that we had earlier this year. And so this is using the remaining funds for those corridors which were not filled. So some of the corridors have different amounts that are available than others. So the application, as I stated, will be open from October 27th and closed on November 26th. But that is until either that day has passed or until all funds in that particular area are exhausted. For the properties, the businesses must be located within the city of Rockford's municipal boundaries, located in one of the eligible corridors for this second round. The property must be commercial or industrial and zoned within a commercial or industrial property area. They must be current on your property taxes, and if the building has been designated by the city of Rockford as a local landmark or historic district, additional certification will be needed by the Historic Preservation Commission. Tenants are encouraged to partner with the property owners to create projects that are eligible. The project and available funds are limited to the project site with the address that is provided as well as the parcel that is provided. And the business or property owner that has multiple locations within an eligible corridor may apply for each location, but those applications must be submitted separately and they will be evaluated independently. So it is actually possible that if multiple applications are submitted, that one could be eligible and accepted while another is not, if it is within an ineligible project. For eligible projects, you must be a for-profit business established by October 1st, 2025, and documented through the state or the county, and legally established to operate within the city of Rockford's municipal boundaries in one of the designated corridors. The property owners must the property must be located within one of the designated corridors. The exterior improvements are what are eligible projects, including the doors, windows, roofs, tuck pointing, siding, landscaping, and parking lots. The cost should align with what the applicant is responsible for, and the work should provide a reasonable sense of improvement and should not leave the property in an unfinished or unsafe condition. Ineligible projects will include home-based businesses, businesses that were established after October 1st, 2025, businesses that primarily engage in speculative activities that develop profits from fluctuations in price rather than through normal course of trade. Nonprofits are not eligible. And if it is not available to residential property owners. Funds are matching funds. They are provided on a 5-year forgivable loan basis. So with the process, the application opens on October 27th, and there is a link there for the website that is available on the City of Rockford's website. So there's a specific landing page for the Commercial Corridor Program. The application is online only, and it's through our Neighborly application portal. So after a person applies, if it is an approved project, they will receive a pre-approval letter for the described project, and the applicants will then require additional information. So from that original piece, the applicant will include their contact information, the business information and history, and the property information. From there, they will need to verify that they are current on their property taxes, the verification that they are current on their mortgage, if that is applicable, and the lease, if they are a tenant, and then also the documentation of the property's owner's consent. You will also need a project summary, a project budget, 5-year operating budget, driver's license or state ID. The 5-year operating budget, I should include, that is actually the project budget is actually a specific template that's included within the application, and that will then be included with the included documentation. You will also need a project schedule or timeline, verification of matching funds, and other financial documents, as well as insurance. After submitting the pre-application, the City of Rockford will review and determine if the project meets all eligible requirements. And the city may deny incomplete applications or applications that do not contain the supporting documentation. An incomplete application are applications that do not contain all applicable supporting documentation requested through the city's online application portal. For approval, once an application is pre-approved, the applicant then has 90 days to submit all of the remaining required documentation and meet all of the other program requirements. The city may deny incomplete applications or applicants who fail to submit documentation within the 90-day due diligence period. Since this is a first come, first served basis, there are no extensions on the 90-day due diligence period. So if all items are not submitted by that point, then they will receive an automatic denial. And that supporting documentation must be submitted through the city's online Neighborly application portal. Within that portal, there is a section to upload all documentation. For the development agreement, the applicant will then sign a development agreement with the City of Rockford formalizing the project, and the applicant should not begin any work prior to that agreement, the full execution of that agreement, meaning signed by all parties. Any work started before the development agreement will result in an automatic disqualification of the entire project for the program. Once the project is complete, the applicant will then supply us with the invoices as well as the proof of payment to the contractor, and the city will pay the appropriate prorated portion of the invoice based off of that agreement. For the due diligence period, there are some things that are required within that 90 days. That is the current lease, the letter from the building owner identifying consent for the project if they are the tenant, proof of ownership or if they are the property owner. It will require drawings illustrating the proposed work or other photos with a description, cost summary listing each component of the budget, project budget, invoices, project estimates, project schedule and timeline, proof of matching funds, and property insurance. For the approval, the approval will include the development agreement with the City of Rockford, and then you will move forward with your project. For construction, building permits and other permits that are necessary for that particular project are required to be submitted as well as completely approved and closed out for the project to be considered complete. And upon completion, the city of Rockford will inspect for compliance of those items being submitted. The post-award documentation will include, after the work is completed, the property owner or tenant will submit the final invoices to the city of Rockford, will verify all of the information that I mentioned on the previous slide, and that all work is completed and the proper permits were pulled and closed out. The city of Rockford will then issue a check for the appropriate amount, and the property owner or tenant will then pay the contractor or pay themselves with the proof of payment. For the 5-year forgiveness, businesses must remain in operation, or either if you are the building owner, then you must retain ownership of the building for the 5 years of the forgiveness period. If there are any questions, please submit those to the Economic Development email, and we will get those answered for you. Or you can email me directly at francisca.french@rockfordil.gov. Thank you.